Hello?
Hello there.
Thank you for the raid ITT Tom, and welcome to your 24 viewers too.
Oh, hello there!
Hello. Thank you for the 21 months of subscribing Yellow. They said, Oswin has a voice now. Del, what have you done? Lol.
What have I done, Yellow asks. What have I done? Well, first things first, what have I done? Let's see. I went and bought Quidditch match. Oops, which is not centered. That's okay. Things happen. Lego. Title. You gotta go this way a bit. Can't even spell. Spelling is not happening. Can't center things. There we go. Good thing I was never trained in typography. All right. Thank you very much for the raid, Tom. I really appreciate it. Always glad to have you guys in. And let's see how today's Lego goes. Looking at the lighting, going, well, we might be okay. I have less lights on than usual, but I'm hoping that will give us less glare. Oh, God. Yeah, less glare, but this shadow that you're seeing is not the hand, is from the arm of the camera. So we'll see what I think of that. I'm not really sure I like that. In any case, we are dealing with the Quidditch match. This is a retired set from, geez, what year was it? I can't remember at the moment. Not important. But it's one I've been wanting for a while and may at some point duplicate. But what we want to do is get this one built, put together. We did a Quidditch trunk, and I really do still enjoy the Quidditch trunk, but I was quite satisfied with having, was not quite satisfied with having that suggestion as enough for my sort of diorama-esque collection. I have the wrong image. Properties. Got to change the set image. It's not Madame Malkin's. It is...
Welcome.
Don't I have an image of that one? Huh. Okay. So then let's try something else. I see... Oh, can't see building instructions with that one. Okay. So cancel. Give me a split sec. This is driving me crazy, so I will just cheat and grab an image. The one I used the other day was actually on my phone.
Hello?
It's not actually on the computer. So where did I put that? No, Discord. Come here. Discord. General. When all those fail, steal it from your own Discord, right? Oh, crumb. I don't like that one. Oh well. Sometimes things happen. Okay. I need a better picture. It's what's bugging me. Lego. Enter. Images. Huh. They all have a background. All right. Yeah, they all have a background. I don't want one with a background. Wine, Delenn, wine. Fine. Go with this one. That's somebody's tiles. Okay, never mind. Do. I'm just looking for one that's blank enough to this. I'm going to steal it. An image. Oh, it's Lego's image. Well, that's a little harder to steal. Let's see. Save image as. It'll be a WebP, isn't it? Yep. Lovely. Okay. Well then. That's fine. We're just going to use the box. Because that's what I had. Let's see. Image. Save image. We're just going to use the image I had. It's not great, but it'll do. Sure. Still this perfect. Something. Can I do... Yay! Okay, good. Nope. Really? Aw. I'm just trying to grab the image for the picture because it's really bugging me not to have it. So we're going to finish off with that. Right here. Documents. Lego. Models. Thought I'd had one, but I guess I didn't. Can't spell. Still a WebP. Dang it. I don't like WebPs. Fine. Okay. computer. Documents, Lego. I'm very disorganized this morning just because it's Monday. You know? Lego Monday. Nope, not that. I'm going to use a web key because that's what we have. Web key, didn't I just saved an image and now I can't find it. Alright. Huh. Did I not save that one? Browse. Weird. Like, did I save that? Anyway, it's not really critical. It's just bothering me. You know? Oh, that's wide. Okay. Place. Come on. Spot. Finally. Okay. On picture. Keep looking for it, and it's never where I want it. Are you alphabetical? No, you're not. You're sorted by something else. Hi. Okay. Can you spell? Weird. There we go. Finally. Open. Okay. Sure. I'll take that. Good grief. The thing is huge. Took me long enough. Normally, I don't like boxes, but I didn't have a see-through picture, so we're going with it. I bet you. Please. Yes. Hi. What do you have? Browse. Of course. It will do exactly what I want it to do once I've shrunk everything. Lovely. That's what I was looking for in the first place. Come on. Okay, now we can build. Great. I'm happy. I'm happy. Took me long enough. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Where are we here? Back it all up. Say hello. So welcome on Raiders. I do appreciate it. Tom, good morning, Mama Bear. Let's go. We didn't actually do that. To Tom Raid. I appreciate the resub, Theo, very, very much. Let's see. Bot's saying hello, as he does. There's the fight. Winner was... Fox. Rigged! Okay. Wow, they're way to redirect there, Boswin. Okay. Good morning, Wolfen. Yay! And good luck to Wolfen. Everybody always has a busy day, and I think Monday was shopping day, if I remember correctly. Takes me long enough to get my brain in the game here. Okay, good morning, Mike. Hello to you again. And to Fox again. Okay. I think we're almost back. Yes,
Hello?
we're back. Finally! Hey, Mickey! Good to see you. Okay, let's open this box and get rolling. Oh man, that was a bad pun I didn't even realize I made. But hiss, and all those things. Alright, yeah, this lighting is gonna be sus. Ugh. Awful. Sorry guys, we gotta go back to usual. It'll readjust in a moment. Maybe. Yeah, better. Alright, so we have 2 booklets, hence 2 sets of instructions. So I've got the first one up, ready to rock. And I better put these back in the box. With the box. But we have stickers! Yay, stickers! I like stickers. Can you tell? Alright. Right. No problem. As Oswin in the last couple of weeks has got some brain and a voice, so do with that what you will. He doesn't say just anything, but he can be triggered to say things. I don't even know if I have the command for that one. Off the top of my head, at least. I mean, like, I have one, I just never remember what it is. Okay. So we've got... These are some color sheets we haven't seen in a while. I'm not used to my builds actually having color. We've had lots and lots of grays. I guess last week we had purples, so maybe that's not too bad. Madame Malkins and such. Okay, we've got 2 figures coming out of this pile. I'm assuming it's a Hermione and a Snape. And with all the LEGO sets these days, they maddeningly put some of the parts in the bags and some of the parts loose in the main bag. Okay, so we've got Snape's outfit and grumpy face, so it's probably Snape's head. I think I'm just going to give him a quizzical look. I guess I can start rolling the instructions. That would be sensible, you know? Okay, glasses cloth over there. Love the eyebrow. Yeah, as soon as we get his hair out of this bag, and then we can put him up close with the eyebrow. He's got the dual face, grumpy on one side. Oh, as you know, this thing never wants to cooperate. There we go, grumpy on one side. And quizzical on the other, with the normal Snape greasy hair. Always has to be. I've been sporting my best Snape impression the last month or so, so you know, why not have the figure to go with it? But yeah, he has some lovely printing on the torso and the back, like that. And this is one of the sets where they've given him the longer robes by printing on his legs. Honestly, that doesn't happen in all the sets, and I'm kind of disappointed when it doesn't. But I do like that they did it here. No! Water in the funnel. Or in the fuel. Yuck. Sorry to hear that. That's definitely a reasonable lurk. Okay, so we've got little legs, which would be for Hermione, because this is first year, I believe? Yeah, first year, for sure. Head helps. She's not in a good mood. So in this one, we've got Hermione can be stressed out, or she can be having a good time. But of course, she's fairly worried for Harry fairly quickly, so we'll leave that. Her hair is plasticky, but they managed to make it more of a matte color. Doesn't really show on camera that it's matte, but it's definitely a much more matte one up close, and it's got a different feel to it. She's never in a good mood for potions. No, she wasn't, but this is also the one where at the time they thought Snape was the bad guy. And we learned over the series that he wasn't, particularly not in this episode story. So these can sit off to the side for now, and I'll add them back later. We've got one more little bag to open. Okay. We'll see later on who the real troublemaker was. Okay, step one. Step one, after we built both the figures, we were probably supposed to get wands, which oh, there they are. There's one wand set, which I'm going to assume is Hermione's, because they always give Snape the black ones. Somewhere in here, give me a black set of wands. Come on. I might actually have to give them to the characters for this theme. So let's grab some loose ones. Got there. We'll grab a Snape a wand. I'll grab one for Hermione. Go. I have just a few wands, can you tell? Often the pieces that are given separate, not separate, sorry, extra, spares and stuff, so some of my characters have them and some of my characters don't. As you guys have seen, I frequently put them away so that the characters don't actually get a wand, just because they're easy enough to lose, and that's why they always get spares in the boxes. But on the other hand, at some point I may upgrade the ones for Diagon Alley theme. Still not quite sure how I'm going to display any of this stuff. My room needs some serious reorganization on the shelves. Okay. We've got lovely glare, as we always do, but we'll go with it. Yay! So we're starting with the Gryffindor Tower. Gryffindor box. The thing about these instructions, they're a little older, pardon me. They're a bit older, but they also are a bit more colorful. I think LEGO may have, in later years, saved money on the ink. I mean, this is a PDF, but it's a PDF scan, so it's actually not as clear as I would like. I can see what's going on, but that's about it. Ha 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 ha! No. Can you imagine trying to do, you know, what do you call it? Charms class with your wand away for the day? But I'm sure there's probably a special landing zone for the Daily Prophet newspapers. It's like, no, you cannot read this until lunchtime. Not allowed. Disruptive in class. We need... Ah, okay, I see what we're doing. 1, 2. These little ones. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. Osmond says that in Quidditch there are 3 balls, the quaffle, the bludgers, and the golden snitch. Teams score with the quaffle, dodge the bludgers that are flying, yep, and catch the snitch for extra points. Exciting game! Okay. I definitely would agree. For those that are aware of the Quidditch Champions game, it does not actually play quote-unquote correct Quidditch on purpose. The reason for that is because, as everybody and their dog has pointed out, the actual scoring system of Quidditch in the books and the movies is rather... Oh, shoot. It's rather unbelievably / unbearably ridiculous. There we go. This isn't straight. There we go. Close enough. Oh, no. Come on. There we go. And the reason I say that, or what I mean by that, is that in the games, in the movies and books, while every waffle through the ring hoops at the end of the field where you score is worth 10 points, no matter which ring you get it through, and there's 3 different heights, it's only worth 10 points. Okay? So if that was all there was to the game, was the quaffles, the bludgers, and the scoring system, that's fine. You know, that would make sense. But then the snitch thing, while that seems like it should be a bonus, it's actually quite likely that the snitch score can completely upset and upend the game so that the opposite team wins, hands down, which is kind of frustratingly ridiculous. I actually don't like games like that. So, for example, in in the books and movies, the effect of winning the snitch catch is 150 points. Okay, like for the game. But if all the quaffle throws are only worth 10, then the teams really have to like bust their behinds to get 15 scores to tie when a Quidditch is caught, or when a snitch is caught. Now, I don't think that's a reasonable design. That's one of the few things in the Harry Potter world that I would love to have the author retcon and be like, yeah, I screwed up and it's a typo that my editor left in. And the thing is, that doesn't help because there's a lot more twisting and turning required to actually make that sort of solution work. So, can't be done. But in the Quidditch Champions game, they did change it up. And I can't remember off the top of my bean how much the snitch is worth because I don't play the game. But they've changed that value. So everything is scored differently. And I think it's a bit more fair. The other thing about the Quidditch Champions game, and part of the reason I won't be playing it, is I'm not much of a sports game person. So, football games or soccer games in video game is not my cup of tea. Excuse me. But that doesn't make it a bad game in any way, shape, or form. It's just not necessarily my kind of thing. By the way, of course, I'm streaming, therefore my nose is itchy. It always goes that way. All right. I do kind of like the simplicity of the towers and the way that they're designed. So we will be doing this sort of design 4 times. So, yeah, hold on to your hats. All right. Brown. Oh, I need some shallow ones first. I have to read the instructions, that helps. Apparently, this effect of not reading the instructions is actually also happening outside of my streams. I was building with the family yesterday as we worked together on the Lego Minecraft crafting bench with biomes inside. Really cool build. I quite like it. But there was spots where I was looking at it going, okay, how am I supposed to attach this piece or this other piece? And it looks like the instruction system I was using did not behave quite as I had expected, and I hadn't noticed, so I ended up missing entire steps. It wasn't just me being dumb and not looking at it. I didn't pay attention enough to realize I hadn't rolled back the instructions far enough. There was plenty of opportunity in that set for having the various biomes broken up into separate bags all the way through the build, and then have one sort of set of bags that's nothing but the crafting table frame that goes around the biomes. And except they didn't do that. They broke up the crafting table thing over multiple bags. Now, if you're doing it as a solo builder, I could see that. It makes sense. But all of the biomes in that build are removable so that you can pull them out and look at them closer or lay them out in a different way or whatever. So there is a way they're supposed to go in. It's actually mapped on the inside of the cube by some flooring tiles beneath the clip-in biomes. So, that's great and all. It's just that by building it the way they did, it was actually a little bit chaotic for our family to try and build together. It would have worked better, I think, had they broken it up into each biome was a little bag. They did that with 2 biomes, but that's just because it didn't work out evenly the way they wanted it to. That's yellow. Where's the red one? There it is. But anyways, as we were building yesterday, I was missing whole pages, whole steps, and I was kind of frustrated by that, and then I realized how I managed it and was being a doofus, so I was able to catch up without too much trouble, but it was just something I had to keep in mind, and I kind of chuckled at myself because of the number of times while on stream that I get talking about something or reading chat or whatever. I'm not going to throw you guys under the bus, but just to say that, yeah, I make these mistakes all the time. Woohoo, gotta love repetition. Well, hey, it works well for you guys that are dropping in, dropping out, and doing other life things while I build, because then you can can effectively have 4 chances to virtually see the same thing. I mean, they're not all... Oh, that's a cool concept. They're not all the same color, but that doesn't mean that I'm not doing the same thing. Okay. So this one... Now, because this is an older set, and they don't include a brick separator, I decided to go with one of the older style brick separators, just for kicks, because they don't have a whole lot of Technic stuff in this one. So these ones are definitely different, but they don't have the lovely little flat edge for placing stickers, or that I often use for placing stickers. So I'm just going to set that aside and do this one manually, and hopefully it looks okay. And this is kind of neat because they've got a sticker, rather than being on a big red panel, they're putting it on one of the clear panels, which is good and bad at the same time. Good in that it's going to look great. Bad if I really screw it up, it's noticeable. So yeah, actually, let's do it longwise. That might be a bit easier to get not as twisted, if I can get it to stay straight. Okay, 2 fingers in here. Come on. Trying to... That's fine. That'll do. There we go. I got a bubble. Lovely. Alright. There we go. Yay! 1 down. On the top of this, we're going to put 2 yellow clips. Probably 2 yellows on one side and 2 reds on the other. I cannot, I mean, now that I've got all these parts, I can not guess at how many hours it would have taken me to find all these parts if I was going to do it from scratch, but I certainly wouldn't have had the stickers. I would have had to order those, probably. I mean, I have a lovely laser printer and a cutter, so I could actually, do them myself, but it would not have been quite as nice. So I will cop to the fact that one of the things that's mildly irritating me about this set right now is the pricing. I paid a reasonable price for it. I thought, okay, yeah, used, that makes sense. Or like in a used shop, that makes sense, and such. But then we went on the weekend to the North. Ooh, ad break. Okay, sorry guys. Went to the North store for the same company, and the North store had one of the Quidditch sets as well, which, of course, what are the odds? And depending on how you look at it, could be low, could be quite high. But in any case, the North store had a set, and it was $30 cheaper. I wish I was kidding. So as you can imagine, that's got me a little bit annoyed on the one hand. On the other hand, my brain is going, let's see how this set goes. And we'll see what I want to do with it. Because if I can decide quick enough, I'll decide whether or not I need that other one to make a full arena. There's still patterns available on Rebrickable for a black and white one. And like a black and white tower. So I would be able to collect the parts for that. It does have stickers, and that person's selling them on eBay, and I'm not really sure if I care. But where I'm going with that idea is that the one on Rebrickable, being the black and white tower, was actually, for like, what's that for? Well, it was actually kind of used in the movies for special guest dignitaries and teachers, like extra teachers. So you could have the kids in the colored stands, and then the teachers in the more black and white ones. So yeah, I'm debating whether or not I want to do the full arena. Because I mean, as you can see, we're upgrading from the trunk already. We'll see. I don't know. I'm talking about it a lot. I'm not convinced yet I want to do it. I want to see how this build goes and see what I think of the look. Let it grow on me for a day or two. Because this is one of those weeks that I've got to do a bunch of stuff. We've got camp on the weekend again for scouts. And this is when our Great Escape adventure happens. So the last camp I had was a practice, and this is the real deal. The real deal being like it's a whole, we call it a council. So sort of an area, I guess. Not an area, that's the word. Not quite regional. Like we used to have areas with inside the councils. So it'd be like a national broke down into regions, and then regions broke down into councils, and then councils broke down into areas, and then areas broke down into groups, right? And groups are down into sections, and then it goes in smaller inside. But the point being that we don't have areas anymore, so I'm not entirely sure how to reference that. But anyways, yeah, our whole council is hosting this event, and they don't have one anywhere else in the country, and as far as I know, anywhere else on the planet. So we're doing The Great Escape, and it's a reference to World War II Escape. We talked about this a few times, so it's old news to you guys. But anyways, this weekend is the real deal, and the kids have been planning their meals, like their meal menu last week, and the scout leaders are trying to decide if we wanted to be in on that same menu or if we want to change it up and do something different for ourselves. And I think we'll probably have the same menu they do, but I'm not entirely keen on their choices, because once again, our kids are going with spaghetti and meatballs for the umpteenth time. And it's not just that I'm tired of it. One of our other scouters is going to be pre-cooking the sauce for us so that we don't have to worry about speed, at camp. But that's the frustrating part a little bit, is that our kids are being not very creative. They had one camp where they did something different, and it was a stir fry. Yay! And then they're back to spaghetti and meatballs again. I'm like, are you kidding me? But we let them go with it because this is one of those camps that, while spaghetti and meatballs is messy to clean up, it could be worse. Right? And the kids are aware that it could be super messy. They also know they will not hear the end of it for a few weeks if it is super messy to clean up, and especially if the scout leaders who are stuck at camp get stuck with cleaning it up. Me. And I thought I'd have to volunteer at the field, but it looks like I might not. We'll have to see how that goes. But our kids been told that they're allowed to go ahead with the spaghetti and meatballs because it's a meal that they've done enough times that I will admit they know how to cook it a little faster than they do some other options that are newer to them. So I guess there is that. It's a bit of a go with what you know kind of thing. So I guess there is that, but still, we'd like to see them move on from that. It's not that they can never have spaghetti and meatballs, but when it's a camp approximately every 2 weeks and they always want to have spaghetti and meatballs, it gets a little bit ridiculous. It's like, come on guys, broaden your horizons a bit. There are plenty of things you can look at for campfire meals. It doesn't even have to be over a fire, because this time we're not doing it over fire. Actually, oddly enough, they haven't cooked over a fire yet. That sounds dumb, but I mean, they've done, what do you call it, tin-dins, so tinfoil dinners is what we call them. Basically where you put stuff wrapped in tinfoil. And plenty of people do that at home all the time with their barbecues. It can be like some people will do your scalloped potatoes or something that way, right? Alongside your grilled food. We've done it as that, or we've done it as like you put your whole meal of whatever you want inside the tinfoil, and then you cook the package in or on the fire. So I guess this is the Gryffindor Tower. I'm not quite sure what the whole swinging thing is for. I suspect maybe they're going with, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's because of some of the storyline that I'd forgotten about. Like maybe one of the guys flies through to go after the snitch. But anyway, there's Gryffindor Tower for you. Woohoo! Alright, so I'm just going to set this one up. Maybe over here. Finish. Let's see the bottom of it. Now we're on to Slytherin Tower. The same vein. Well, I would if it was a Fitbit. It's actually an Apple Watch. I've had an Apple Watch since Series Naught, and they didn't actually even label it as a number. That's part of why I use the British term "not" for it. is because some people are calling it Series 0, but they never actually gave it a number. So the British not, as in not having a number or not having a field in the field, really works for me. But anyway, I've had one since then. Fantastic Sherlock Fox got me one, actually, initially, off of one of his office bonuses at the time, because I was saying that we were both saying that I was spending too much time looking at my looking at my phone. Yeah. We found out later there's more to it than just, wanting to get away from the phone. But for an immediate, okay, you need to be aware of X that came through, the watch notifications were great. And the Fitbit ones I'd had up to that point, so I did have a Fitbit, you're not entirely off base. Yeah, it does look a lot like the current, or the more recent generations of Fitbit. My co-scouter has one of the Fitbit ones, and major difference between the two you'll notice is the Fitbit ones often have a loop off the side, a metal loop on both sides, and a lot of them by default come with an elasticized band, which around the outside. I've had the Fitbits before that were like the rectangular type with the big rubber band or metal band or whatever that went around the outside, and I liked them and well enough. It's just that at the time the screens were only text, and while texts are the most important thing that I want to get through on my watch, there were other minor pieces of information. Like I'd really enjoy, you saw me put it to sleep, but I really enjoy having a to-do list available on this watch, so that I can look at it and be like, oh, hey, I really should be doing whatever thing. But I'm typing away, you can see that it turns itself away. And it's like, I have to actually put effort into waking it up. Except right now I put it in a theater mode, so I have to tap it to wake it. But if I'm typing it, I should just do that. I don't think about it. So yeah, that's not as effective as it could have been, as the plan was, but the notion was there. And I still use it for a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, it does help me with things. And I can see, the weather temperature before I go put my shoes on, which is helpful. Or, what I have on the front face. Well, I mean, battery level, of course, and dates and stuff. But I also have a little calendar thing on there so I can see, oh yeah, I have stream in 20 minutes. As far as the to-dos go, it's there. I look at it and I go, oh hey, I should do that. And I start preparing to do it, and something squirrels me as this really short little tiny thing is suddenly far more important than what I was going to be doing. In all honesty, sometimes I wonder if I should start recording a list of what did I actually do today as I do it. Maybe voice memos or something, or voice to text. I don't know. But I'd like to know what I do in a day. What is it that squirrels me so badly? Often it's Minecraft, because when you're doing Minecraft, even if it's grindy stuff, it's getting on a roll, right? You can easily one more thing yourself to death. And my bad habit of late has been in Minecraft, one more thing, and okay, I'll just put this away because I probably won't be online before next stream, and that way I can start with an empty inventory. Disadvantage being, oops, I went up instead of down, wrong way. Disadvantage of doing it that way is Murphy's Law of late, where I've had boxes and such. It just so happens that I was like, oh, okay, I'll just put this away in out here. Well, out here is a dangerous place right now in my base. So I end up going out here to put something away, and lo and behold, I physically fall in a hole, or it's nighttime and mobs are chasing me, or I didn't realize that somebody else was sleeping for me long enough that I have phantoms attacking me, and yeah. So then it ends up being I'm late for dinner or whatever, partly because I was putting things away and then the phantoms attacked me, or whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm the idiot that caused this because of my obsession with putting things away. Right? Or that'll just take a second to rearrange whatever it is. Yeah. But then it's A leads to B, leads to C, leads to... And by the time you're going, yep, I'm done, you're down at Q, and you wonder where the time went. Well, okay, you don't, but I would. You guys would probably know where the time went. I've actually thought about and have a button ready, just have never used it, on my desk that shows a little, like we have a countdown timer showing how much longer the stream can be. Like right now it says I've got an hour and 9.5 minutes. And I've got another timer button ready that when I hear the sort of alarm saying, yeah, you know, dinner's on the table, time to come up, then I should hit that button. And when I'm doing my one more thing, shut down, etc., so I can go up for dinner, then I know just how long I was, how late for dinner. But honestly, there's 2 reasons I don't. One, because when I hyper-focus, sometimes I don't even hear the little chime and the Google Home talking to me. It's actually that weird. But the other reason I don't is because it gives me more fodder to beat myself up over later, and nobody needs that. So, yeah. You know, some ideas are great, and some ideas not so much. But Lego's coming along. I like Lego because it's a good headspace break. I do know what I'm working on tomorrow for Minecraft. What a change. So for those of you that follow it's a generous word. For those of you that watch my Minecraft debacles, tomorrow we are headed into a mine shaft. Where I left off on Friday, we had been going mining for diamonds, and on the weekend I decided I was going to do a little bit more of that. Well, I went to go break through and got a little lava. Okay, great. Blocked out the lava, went, let's see, how big is this pool up? Let's go up and over to find out. As soon as I went up, like 2 blocks, opened up, boom, mine shaft. I'm like, great. Okay, how bad is this mine shaft? I mean, obviously they're big, but sort of how bad is it? I get up there, I looked across the lava section. Well, I can start to see the edge of spider webs. As you guys can imagine, that's not high on my list. Okay, let's go around the outside to avoid said spider webs. So I had some mobs to get rid of, but so traveled around the outside a little further, discovered not just more spider webs, I discovered a second spawner. I'm like, ooh, don't want to be here. Went up. It's like, what's on the next floor? Break line of sight and all, right? Next floor, I go up, and there is more spider webs. I'm like, oh, that's probably just from down below. I traveled along a little further, and lo and behold, no. Not only is there another spawner, I traveled a little further and discovered, yay, there is a second spawner. So what that totals out to is we need to clear out the mine shaft, but we have ourselves a 4 spawner set. 2 on one floor, 2 on the second. I have decided that we need to clean out a lot of the mine first in terms of getting rid of zombies and looking at chests and all that jazz. Probably chopping out some of the floor and such just to make sure that's a little harder for things to get in there. So semi-spawn proofing, maybe? I might use water, I'm not really sure. But after that, then the project is going to be, for my personal first time, I'm going to try and make a spider spawner, like a spider farm, which is really got me nervous. And I can always retract the idea, but honestly, I've never done it. And I keep saying I want to grow in Minecraft by doing things that I have not done before because of whatever, like maybe in this case they make me uncomfortable and so on and so forth. Well, I mean, hey, we talked last week about whether or not I needed spider bits for trying to do some potions and or potentially increasing my lovely gifts of armadillos. So there is that. I will have plenty for that. But yeah, I did not expect, I expected a single spawner, and I probably wouldn't have done anything with that if I would just destroyed it and moved on. Dual spawner, okay, the thought starts to bubble, but I'm still going, I don't know. When you get the third or the fourth, when you get the third, you kind of go, maybe I really should, and the fourth is kind of like, don't be an idiot. use the opportunity. Geek out. 4 television shows based off of films. Ooh, okay, we can do this. So yeah, that's the upcoming project. Do I need all those bits and bobs? Possibly not. But as I said, I've never done it, so I probably should. I mean, materials-wise, there's some blocking things up and then digging spaces out, and there will be some water mucking around with just to make sure it works. So yeah, there'll be some of that. But there's not a whole ton I would need in the inventory. And we're actually quite low in the world. Like, I was down at minus 58 for the diamonds. So we don't have a whole lot of space. So a drop shaft to their own demise, just for pure height, is not an option. So yeah, I don't get that level of easy way out. But, you know, as I said, I gotta learn someday. Just to feel that I've done it, even if I never do it again. That's what we're going to be working on. Box. So, gotta keep it, make it clean. Oh, some of it. I mean, I'm gonna bet the mine shaft is pretty large. I don't really know. I could free cam it and see, but that's really cheaty. I mean, you need some level of surprise, right? So we've seen it. I'll admit, we've seen the thing on maps, like the way the journey map and the Zero's map are set up right now. Yes, we've seen the mine shaft. It's good sized length, but I don't know how many layers. And while I could turn off that mapping ability, I can't seem to get it to not. Like, I would lose stuff above as well, so it's not exactly the easiest. Need Slytherin stickers. Ow. It says "Go Slytherin" on the flag. Ow. I guess I must be a little dehydrated on my fingertips because the glue was really getting me. Enough. Yay. Okay, so this one, the little snake banner, it says, I don't know if you guys can see it, it says there, "Go Slytherin." It just goes on the front. But the way that one has the swinging front and this one does not suggests then that it's not a team entrance on purpose. It's probably got something to do with the story and the way that it turned out, I guess. All right. Yeah, that's what's coming up this week. Which means I have a plan. Sort of. Maybe. Kind of. Well, there won't be... Well, I cannot guarantee there'll be a lot of deaths involved. I have no idea, one way or the other. And the other part is I can guarantee there'll be a lot of nerves involved. So we'll be doing this very slowly and very carefully. It'll probably take longer than it should to do the mineshaft thing, and especially including building the Spider Delio. I'm hoping it won't take as long as it could, but yeah. I want to get it right the first time and be the most accurate. I may ask for some other players' help in terms of sourcing wireless redstone, because I'm not really sure if I want to muck about with trying to figure out how to get enough. I guess maybe a redstone lamps in the walls the classic way might work for enough light to shut them off. But I'd have to see where the light reaches to. And that one might involve some testing. The other option, though, is I could put redstone lamps either right on top or right beneath the spawners, and then do wireless redstone to turn them on and off. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't figured that part out yet, because, you know, baby steps. Gotta walk before we can run. This one... Yeah, it's conceptually very simple. And one of the other things that allows me to do is, rather than a general mob farm, which had been my earlier plan, if I do a spider farm separately, pardon me, I really don't need spiders in the other farm. Other farms, though. Farm, I guess. So I could make a creeper-only farm, which would be... So I'd have to put trapdoors and stuff down to avoid spider spawns in that form. But then that's not a big deal because, as far as doing a creeper farm goes, I have enough cats already. I don't know if I really need more than 20 cats for that, but I'm sure that I'll probably end up with more. Yeah, and I mean, I'm learning, as I say, I'm learning to fly, and I've never actually done a brewing station of my own. I've just always bought the potions I need, so I mean, that's another potential avenue. That one. Turn flag. Part of me wonders if I'm missing something, but I don't think so. I don't have any duplicate spare parts, so I think we got it right. That should be Slytherin one. Fire's a little obvious, I think, but I can make it rise. And that's when, referring to when Hermione decided that they were going to set Snape's cloak on fire. Put these parts away so that I don't end up with duplicates in the next bag and get concerned when they're actually the spares from the first bag. These can set aside. Okay. Just put these way aside. Autofocus is a little janky, and I'll fix that in just a second. If I just keep moving my hands around up and down, it's not going to work too well. It looks like we've got the other two towers coming out of this one, or pretty close. Ah, autofocus cleared up. Great. So 4 television shows based off of films. Was Buffy the Vampire Slayer from a film, or was it just an absolutely horrible TV series that was independent? Oh, this is not what I thought it was. Nice. I have a Harry Potter character that this one could stay freaked out because he was having a weird time. But stiff on the neck, so it's not straight. Come on. Okay, I guess he's going to be off center. I can't seem to get straight. Or can I get enough grip to pull it off? Come on. Wow. Okay, he's straight enough. I'm going to go with that. The back one seems to be crooked. The front is straight enough, so I guess we'll go with that. I guess it must have been printed crooked. Okay. Errors! Yay! He's got the slightly more matte. It's not rubbery, but it's a sort of a softer plastic feel. Very scruffy first year hair. Where it? I know it's asking me in the pictures to do Draco first, but I'm just happened to find the Harry Potter parts first. This will be Draco's head, and I need legs, please. That'll be Draco's broom. That'll be Harry's broom. There's white legs. Those. Both of them? No. That's really weird. Okay, this isn't Draco. That's Marcus Flint, I believe. That's his legs. There's Harry's legs. Okay. Marcus Flint was definitely older than Harry. He was one of the beaters on the Slytherin team. Marcus's hair. That guy's head and his hair. Where's his body? There it is. He's a very rough beater. I'll have that sort of ha 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 type of look. Here's Marcus. He's got that, or he's got a scared face, and I don't think he really needs a freaked out face. Do that one just in case. There's the one I chose with his happiness, and yeah, you get the idea. Even if it's blurry, there's not much point in me forcing the view, or it's going to be a mess at the bottom. There's that one. Then we've got up here. We'll take a look at our Harry, and that one's probably worth me doing autofocus on. Go. So Harry's freaked out. Either that, or he can be really proud of himself. But this would be the one where he ended up burping up the snitch, so I'm not exactly sure that we really want him to be in a good mood about the whole thing. He looked like he was going to be green at first. Next. But, sorry, he thinks I'm only 2 hours on Monday. Haha. Little does my timer know, it's not 12, it's 1 on Mondays. There we go. Okay. Hour 53. That looks better. Alright. So there's that. And then we've got, for his character, he needs his broom, as expected. Oh, and he's got a cape. Forgot about that. Yeah, they had cloaks in these early ones, which is dumb, because it's not very practical. We've got 2 Gryffindor players and 2 Slytherin players. I'm going to grab one of the green ones. These are actually nice cloaks. Unlike the ones that you get in the more modern sets that are very, very stiff. Reference, for example, anybody who's opened the collectible minifigs, those ones, they definitely take a shortcut. And those capes are very plasticky and don't have very much flow to them. These ones have nice movement, which might explain why I had problems getting with the heads, is because they probably are supposed to fit better when you've got the cape in between. Maybe. Or not. Let's see. There you go. He's got a little flowy cape. And he's got a broom, which is worth giving him, I guess. And then, on the other hand, because he's a beater, we need to build his club, his bludger club. So we've got a little telescope handle thing and one of the rounded end bits. That in his hand. I think that's Marcus Flint. Put that up there. Lock safe. Oh. No, close. Wrong, it's Lucian Bowl. There is a Marcus Flint in here, but he's in the next bag. Marcus Flint has black hair. Okay, so we rolled Geek Out. Not a whole lot of response to that previous one, which is fine. So Harry needs his cape, which means I do have to get his head off. Oh, come on. Give me just a second. Ow. That actually was challenging. And teeth. Oops, did I mark it? I have enough. Yep, I did. I scored the head. Okay. So I screwed it up. Let's see. Do you have a happy and a freaked out? You have a freaked out? Who's tick? Okay, I will change that out later because I'm pretty sure I have a head that will work for this from Harry. I'm just going to see if I actually have another Quidditch player here handy. Not in that box. When you go to the dollar store, you can easily find boxes for these things, and I'm just thinking, okay, I've only got Harry and his sweater in this one. Set that aside. A few Harrys in this one. I have a Quidditch Harry. It's not quite the right smiley face on the back side. I've got a few, but it's not. They use the same face for so long, though, that it's hard to tell. Try to see if I've got one that's super duplicate. Okay, there we go. Found one. There we go. Little first year Harry. I'm gonna take your head off. I'll give you this one. This one where he's freaked out. That on the cape. That's the whole point to this. I just bonked the thing with my head. Great! Put that on first. One on. The whole point. And then give him his head. The hair. There we go. Okay, that one twists a lot better, so I don't know if it's the head that's the problem or than something on the torso. There's Harry with his broom. And the snitch. Where did I see the snitch? No, that's a printable coin. I don't know why they have that. Put the box away for a second. There it is. There's the snitch. Here's our little golden snitch. So very, very nice molding. Hard to see on camera, I guess. Come on, dang. There we go. It's got little wings with ridges to them. And then the ball itself has ridges on it, which is kind of hard to see against my hand. But yeah, trust me, it's there. I do have another Quidditch Harry, aside from the fact that I broke his hand. But he's got the sweater, and that's not the right look for this set. So we've got Harry. There's been enough issues of, like, reissues of the same head for Harry that I was not surprised, but if I didn't have to switch out one where he's got a different shirt, then that helps. Okay, and also he's notably shorter than the other guy. So we've got our two players. I'll set them further back up again. And let's roll it. Great. Okay, so we're working on Ravenclaw Tower. So, as Mama Bear put it, repeats, round 3. Enjoy. This is your time to do your stretch and get your drink refilled, or turn over the laundry, or, I don't know, go refill your coffee at the office or something. That works, go for it. Here in Canada, it's actually a day off for a lot of people. It's supposed to be for everyone, but the way the legislation worked out, as I understand it, it's one of those in lieu-able days. But the idea being is it's a day where the entire country is supposed to stop and think about our history and what Canada and its mostly French and English cultures have done to the native populations the First Nations peoples. And yeah, it's like, what do they call it? Truth and Reconciliation Day, I think? Something like that. Hence the orange shirts. So orange is sort of the theme color for this one. And that was what orange shirts were about last Thursday. Of course, my orange shirt from last Thursday's in the laundry, so I couldn't wear it again. But yeah, that's what it's all about. We have a huge list of things. I think it's like 99 or something more. Things that are on the sort of ways of reconciling. I'm not really sure quite what to make of it, so I'm not going to make a commentary on that. Just simply saying that that is why, if you're talking to Canadians, they may be talking about their 4-day weekend or their 3-day weekend or whatever. Our house had a 4-day weekend, and the reason for that, as you say, is part of it this day off, but also that we had, the kids had parent. Oh, okay. Normally they have a half day on Fridays as far as school goes. And then this past week, Thursday was the Meet the Teacher night, which I talked a little bit about on Friday. And then Friday morning was special meetings with teachers. So if your kid was just, an everyday average kid, which is awesome, that's great, but they didn't have special needs in one way or the other, then they didn't have any school on Friday or any meetings or anything like that. And so Friday was completely off, no school. And but of course we had a meeting with the teacher for my daughter because she has like a tag sort of program. We call it an IPP. And anyway, long story made short, other than that, they had no school. So they added a day of the weekend for the kids, really. And then there's this one. So yeah, some of them had a long weekend. I've seen quite a few trailers in the neighborhood, as in travel trailers and such for people who were doing vacations and things, but I saw them coming in last night. So I'm kind of glad that people, at least in our neighborhood, appear to be respecting the point of the day by not actually being out on the roads. I'm sure that the reality is if I was to go out doing much of anything today, then I would see other, holiday makers coming back today because they didn't have to be at work. Fantastic Sherlock Fox rolled Geek Out, and the topic right now is 2 actors who voiced characters in The Lion King. Oh, yep. So we've got Jeremy Irons and James Earl Jones have been called. Rowan Atkinson and Whoopi Goldberg. What's his name? And I can't remember whether or not young Simba was Jonathan Taylor Thomas or whether it was someone else. Fox would know better than I would in that case. Fantastic Sherlock Fox would know better. Ah, there it is. But I think that's it. And then there's Nathan Lane and it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So Jonathan Taylor Thomas, many people may have known him from Tim Allen's comedy series. That's going to draw a blank. But anyways, he had a TV history, and he had done some TV work for Disney before, so that was not a surprise. But then Nathan Lane played Timon, the little meerkat, and I never remember who played Pumbaa because that guy never really did much that I recall outside of The Lion King. So it wasn't that he was a nothing actor, no, by no means, but I just don't remember anything else that the guy who voiced Pumbaa was in. These days, though, I mean, Disney has their favorites that they had for years and years and years. Yes, I was thinking of Home Improvement. Exactly. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was the older son on Home Improvement, I think. Yes, exactly. Tim the Toolman Taylor. More power. And Wilson over the fence. Yeah, exactly. And that neighbor you never see except from the nose up. Yep. But Nathan Lane was a lot of Broadway stuff, so I was well aware of him before the Lion King, just because my parents were quite into, my mom in particular was into like Broadway-based movies, and so he was in a few of those, and so I was aware of him beforehand. Also, Nathan Lane, people might have known him opposite Robin Williams for The Birdcage, which is kind of a fun little romp. So what else have we got? Yeah. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg, TV people would know her well from Star Trek for playing Guinan. Movies she had done for years. stage, I think she'd done for years. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But as far as movies go, one of her more family known roles was as the main character in Sister Act. And of course, and Sister Act 2. And the connection, full circle, no, just kidding. The connection is, of course, I'm a Harry Potter nut, that in Sister Act and Sister Act 2, the head of the convent, Mother Superior character, was played by the recently departed Maggie Smith. So, yeah, there's your circle. There's your connection. We're not talking 6 degrees of or anything silly like that, but yeah. So therefore, as a result of that pairing, Whoopi Goldberg said nice things about Maggie Smith on the weekend. You know, as they do. Let's see what else we got. That's more the ones I can think of from, or just about all the ones I can think of from The Lion King. I don't know if the gal who played, or if the lady who played Sarabi, the female lion, or the one who played Nala, the little lady lion, young or older, was in something I would recognize. I'd have to look it up. Yes. Because just knowing names doesn't help. And saying what they're famous for, I may or may not have actually seen, just because I'm bad with titles on everything. Alright. So I guess we can roll a geek out. I'll grab it. Ugh. Anybody got any idea? I have no idea what Ant Farm is. So we may have to roll that one again, because I don't even know what Ant Farm is. Sometimes we end up with people in our stream who know very random things, so I do like to give it a few seconds, but yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't mind the geek out our community style, so if anybody has suggestions for random sounding trivia bits, you know, like if you think you know something incredibly obscure that you would like to have trivia asked of others, you are certainly welcome to send that to me via Discord and see if I can get that in the list. And I will check the ones we've got to see if we've already got that one. And it helps to know if a little bit about the category if you do choose to suggest one. Okay, I'm just gonna streamer's prerogative. Oh. But it does help to know a little bit about the Geek Out category if you do choose to suggest one, such as on this one we can see that it's from the 2000s series of the game, but it's a miscellaneous type of question about hot Christmas toys because it doesn't fit in categories already, such as I think we have like literature and music and television shows and movies and video games and so on and so forth. So if you do think of something incredibly random that you think others might not know, please do feel free to suggest it. Christmas toys. How about we go old school? Cabbage Patch Kids and the Typhoon remote control hovercraft. I don't remember the Typhoon one myself, but I do remember hearing about the Cabbage Patch Kids craze. I was not, I wouldn't say I was lucky or unlucky. I was just not into the Cabbage Patch world sort of thing. Basically, I was at an age where I had my teddy bear who did everything and went everywhere with me, and that was that. My bear did not need competition, although I will say, a few years later, you know, somewhat off the Cabbage Patch notion, we did have one of those My Buddy dolls in the house, which my brother decided that it was supposed to be sort of a friend for him, I guess. And we honestly didn't expect that he was going to latch onto it the way I did with my teddy bear. But for years, that doll came with us everywhere. It even got Cabbage Patch Kids style. My parents decided that they were not going to spend the money for the amount they were going to spend on the clothes that, you know, the world wants one to buy. What kind of stud is that? One of these, I guess? Yeah, best guess. they were not going to spend the money on Cabbage Patch clothing for the Buddy doll or for the teddy bear. So I did at one point from somebody or other get a match set of like nightgown for me and for my doll. Well, of course I didn't have a doll in that scale, so I stuck it on the teddy bear, which was weird because the teddy bear was supposed to be, well, I treated it as male, but it really didn't matter because, you know, kids don't really care. But my brother's Buddy doll, he actually did get called Buddy. I mean, we're all excited. You know, we're not all excited. We're all so creative in our family. My teddy bear was Teddy. Theodore, still not very creative. And his Buddy doll was Buddy. But rather than getting the clothes, my parents were the ones that were, you know, squirrel away toddler clothing for supposedly for a future cousin or something like that, which did end up happening many years later, because my brother and I are the youngest of the 10 grandkids. So anyway, we got access to some of that stuff that we had worn, and sadly my parents dragged out the pictures and showed us. But we got access to that, and so the Buddy doll got to wear all sorts of things that we had actually had. So it had a little like hoodie, full zip jacket, and what else did it have? It actually had a pair of swim shorts. It had alternate t-shirts and shoes and socks and the whole 9 yards. So we missed the Cabbage Patch thing. At one point, I guess my mom got asked if I'd like one, and at that point she said actually she's kind of enamored with her teddy bear, so it probably wouldn't get much play. Don't spend the money, because of course, as with the hot toys, every year they're crazy expensive. Resulting effect also is I saw absolutely no point in the whole Garbage Pail Kids thing, and it quite disgusted me. So when I went from Cabbage Patch to mocking it as a Garbage Pail Kid, that whole thing just disgusted me. But as far as other hot Christmas toys, in our much more adult years, I don't know if Fantastic Joy Fox and I were together at the time, but people here, regardless of being not quite at the same age range as Fox and I, may remember the much more modern, quote-unquote, craze of the whole Tickle Me Elmo business. Ooh. I mean, I get it. In an innocent sense, you know, something that reacts to just giggling, well, rather maniacally, but giggling while being tickled is kind of cool. Like, if you think about it from an innocent point of view, it's really kind of cute. And it became the super hot must-have thing. Like, there were crazy lineups in toy stores for it. And though, I mean, you saw the prices at toy stores rise, I was not in the right sort of place to be ever exposed in person to the people, you know, I got one, and then immediately turning around and trying to scalp it in the crowd like that. We're smart enough not to go shopping for those sorts of things. My parents, like Fantastic Sherlock Fox, had a magic closet kind of thing, so when the craze stuff of Tickle Me Elmo first hit, they very promptly went out and bought a bunch of the other things, non-Tickle Me Elmo stuff, that we were going to be getting for Christmas, and squirreled it away so that they didn't have to deal with the chaos of that at Christmas, since we really did not have time for that. As we've talked about before, my father was one of his side jobs at that point, but one of his jobs was he was a children's magician for company Christmas parties. So for some of the entertainment and Christmas season, you know, when people are doing all this shopping and whatnot, we did not have a whole lot of time to go out and spend time in the malls. So the whole idea of being in the mall was quite literally, usually it was people watching, and find the food court, eat your lunch, and get out of there, because we just didn't have time. And so, there's your Ravenclaw. Nice safe place. I think this is where they're going to be using the megaphone for reporting scores. That was actually done by Lee Jordan from Gryffindor during those matches, but I don't have a problem with them passing that off to a Ravenclaw student just because we need to spread things around, you know? We're on to the Hufflepuff Tower now. I guess for certain sets of toys, it was a little bit more popular at Christmas. Things like, I think the Constructs were really popular one year. But I can't remember too many more. Like, because of the just being too busy to be in the malls at Christmas, I didn't actually know a whole lot of that. It's funny because a bunch of those sort of talking about Christmas toy crazes and stuff, I actually didn't experience at all. It's not just because we're in Canada. I just didn't experience because I wasn't in the malls. You know, I wasn't at the stores in that period. And also another thing that we did was my brother and I would sort of, I guess, build the wish list off of, you know, the catalogs, right? Back in the day when everybody had their paper catalogs. Some stores still do that, but most of them don't. And we actually had, you know, the wish books and what's the other one that Sears had? There's like the Sears toy catalog and stuff like that. And we would actually circle the things we wanted and so on and so forth, and then write our lists. And we actually did, growing up, I did the whole letters to Santa thing. So that was cool. And even later in life, I did the letters to Santa far longer than I probably really needed to. But it was fun. Like, that was the part, is we made a deal out of it, and it was fun, and we'd make a special trip to the mall to drop them off, and so on and so forth. So it was, by making a deal out of things like that, it can actually make the fun last longer and stuff. But so by all those things, I mean, so much of it, for all I know, could have been mail ordered in order to get it in advance. Yeah, the Sears catalog was fun. I mean, the other thing that my parents would often do is have us look in both sort of versions of the catalog. So they're up here, sometimes they'd have just a toy catalog, and then they'd have sort of like the whole home thing that had toys and other stuff. And I really appreciated that my parents had us look in both, because I was absolutely enamored with purple. I mean, I still am. Gee, can you tell? But so I wanted purple everything, and so then of course there'd be years where, you know, I needed new I need new bedding or something, because it just wears out after a while, and enough washings and so on. And so I'd be able to circle the ones I like. And the other thing about it, though, is a lot of kids want a bazillion things for Christmas. I mean, we're not all Dudley, who gets 37 presents for his birthday. Or was it 39 by the time they were done, I think. Anyway, in the first Harry Potter book. But I had to be careful. And so did my parents, because my birthday's in mid-November. So it wasn't that it would, you know, ruin Christmas shopping or whatever. But I often got stuff that was less exciting for my birthday. You know, matched bedding sets or something I would enjoy. It's just not, you know, world of excitement, woo, kind of stuff, simply because I generally knew, yeah, my parents were coordinating with Santa Claus, and so the stuff that was a lot of fun, toys and whatnot, would mostly be the Christmas thing. So if I didn't get something cool like that at my birthday, it didn't mean much more than heightening the anticipation for the toy-related things, because then I was, you know, certain it was going to come at Christmas. I'm sure I've probably been one of those kids that, you know, one year didn't get what they wanted or something and threw a fit, or like disappointment tears or something. But I don't recall it, and my mom has never brought it up, so I'm lucky. We got spoiled that way too, actually, because our kids have never really been like that either. Generally they haven't asked for a lot, so it makes it easier for us to, you know, bring up what they asked. But they've also been relatively thrilled when we got them furniture. It was kind of odd. Most kids, you know, you go, oh, I got a dressing table. Our daughter was somewhat less enthused, but I mean, I remember when my son graduated to a big kid's bed at Christmas, because, I mean, he's older than his sister by a good 2 years, so we needed the toddler size one for her. least that was the idea at the time. And so when he graduated to a big kid's bed, we actually got it all put together Christmas Eve after, wrapping a whole ton of gifts late at night. We got this thing mostly put together. I mean, we didn't do the frame and whatnot. And wrapped a massive ribbon around it. And that's what he came into on Christmas morning. He was thrilled. Which, I mean, I say serious kudos to the way that Fantastic Sherlock Fox sold it to him. But he was thrilled right from the get-go. And that was great because it's not normally the kind of thing that kids would want at Christmas. Ecode has switched, thank heavens. 2 films awarded an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. Okay. Now, specifically for Best Animated Feature. Funny part is, that doesn't necessarily coordinate in 2 directions. So, for example, I think The Lion King won Best Picture one year. It was Beauty and the Beast that did. But the years they didn't necessarily mean that they were... Yes, Fox, I am. Didn't necessarily mean that they were going to get Best Animated Feature as well. That was kind of an interesting twist. Sorry, I think you were a little bit distracted last night when we did discuss that. No worries. Oh, got some with 1 hole and some with 2 holes. Okay, 2 hole versions. We need pieces. Sure. Okay, yeah, no problem. And I'll see if, when I get stream done, I will set up that other errand for you. I mean, it also lets viewers know too, right? So they know. Lego Days will be 3 hours unless we end up completely derailed in a bad way. And then most of the Minecraft streams will only be 2 hours with the exception of Thursdays, which will be 3 just so that we can happily and cozily slide right on into our fine Poodle Pirate. Exceptions may be if there's some reason that something has come up and Poodle Pirate is unable to stream, I may cut back to 2 hours, but we'll see, because once again, it depends on what project. Like, if we're doing the spider thing and we're on a roll, it may still be 3 on Thursday. Wahoo! Yes, honestly, I'm just not with it enough to be aware to keep that fact in mind, although technically I did know that. The other thing I did forget, well, I shouldn't say forget, I neglected to do this morning. We saw that I was scrambling on the titles and such. That was my fault, but I did not know what set we were going to be building until literally 10 minutes before we started, so I guess I should have gone and got all the instructions for all of them, but I'd forgotten. Anyway, we're here now. But was something I was going to say. Oh, yeah. The piece I did neglect was I was going to move my camera down so that you guys didn't have to see the top of my head quite so frequently. At some point, I will remember to do that on Mondays. Truth be told, actually, I just came up with what I should be doing instead. Let's see if this is going to work. Oh, oops. Nope, that's not going to work. I need to pop a different app for that one. I probably won't mess with it today. But I just had an easy, I realized what I could do thing. This one. Bit of an up the nose cam thing, right? Oh, not that one. This one. Yep, it is. Ooh, awful. Absolutely awful. And I don't know how the things will work. Oh, light over my head. Yuck. Okay. Can I get that out of there? Probably not. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Should I have done this? Probably no. I'm always like up for distracting myself. We got the can't spell. Actually, let's go with that. Excuse me for just one shake. We're going to see an absolutely awful picture pop up. This one? It's virtual cam. Ooh, that's fine. Front. That'll work. I didn't even know I could do this. Wow. I didn't know. That's impressive. Ooh. Do that? Really? No. Apparently not. Ew. Off. Camera's being really silly at the moment, so I don't know if that's gonna work. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to be silly. Throw this one on here. Apologies to everybody. Whoa, whoops. I'm trying to see if I can do something a little different. And yeah, 2 songs from Moana. Oh, okay. Is this 2? I got 2 if nobody else does. That one. There's coffee. Coffee, close. Paste. That's better. That'll work. Lego purposes, that will work. I'd rather do it horizontal, but we'll get there. And there's a delay. Great. Can I be me? Times 2. A weirdly different angle, but that'll work. Then I can take this drop way down. Is the other set. That one. Okay. Maybe? We'll go with it. We'll see what happens. Alright. So it's up the nose cam and ooh, instead. Now you're seeing the other version. But hey, at least I'm kind of sort of looking at things. We'll pretend. You can pretend. Got one? Okay, go for it. So yeah, go for it. If you've got them, go for it. I can only really think of 2. Box has to lurk. Okay. Hopefully you have a good trip. So we need to do the mailboxy type thing. So there's this one. I'm putting the cover on. Flip it. That might help. That, and then we put a little block across the top, which goes in the middle. Not quite sure what purpose that box has, but sure, I'll take that. Shiny. Ooh, I forgot about shiny. Tiny's a good one. You're welcome is one of the two I thought about. Can I say except you're welcome? You're welcome. One of my favorite videos from the internet, just in terms of like things that are cute, excuse me, things that are cute would be when Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, who played for Moana, sang a version of You're Welcome to his daughter during like the COVID period while she was washing her hands, just to show how long the song was. And it was adorable because she absolutely loved it. So, yeah, serious score on that one. It was very, very cute, and I think it's still up if people are into that sort of thing, the cutesy videos. But his daughter was quite young, and she was having fun with it. But there's one other one that's sort of... It seems like a lot of Disney movies try to have a big hit, I guess. And so there's one other one that's fairly popular. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me a second. I hope that muted properly. Anyway. Sometimes you just gotta sneeze. Thank you. One of these days I should look it up on the internet and see if the internet knows. It seems to be an all-knowing system. I got this wrong. Okay. But I should someday look to see if the internet knows what is often said in other countries. Because, in North America we say a lot of bless you, whether we're religious or not. And in other countries, they say different things clearly. Like Gesundheit is another one that's common over here, which the Germans do say, and it's good health. It's wishing someone good health. Dylan, you're breaking into place. The other thing I find fun is the word sneeze itself. I think we've talked about this before, but it's probably one of my number one. My top gut reaction response when people say, can you name a word that you think sounds funny to say? And it doesn't seem to matter what accent people have. To describe a sneeze in English always sounds funny to me. I saw a video that had been posted on, what was it, YouTube? No. It was a vertical, skinny one. Could have been a TikTok for all I know. But I picked it up from a different Discord. And some of you in that person's Discord would know what I'm talking about. But it was a video about, I think, an American trying to get an Australian to be able to pronounce no the way that the Westerners do. And this Australian person, certainly, I think they could, but they didn't bother, if you know what I'm saying. And so it made it sound like they just couldn't, and that they were kind of unable to change their pronunciation. Truth is, I think if anybody practices long enough on one particular word, you can say anything. But they were having their fun in the video and whatever. The thing that caught my attention, though, was just a reminder about how certain parts of languages that are now basically on the other side of the globe change differently and or don't change in ways we would expect compared to the language from where they used to be. So, for example, in this particular case, if you listen to the really strange, stretched out pretense at an English lower class dialect, as showcased in, say, My Fair Lady, whether it be the play or the movies or whatever. The way that Liza Doolittle says no, and some of the other things that level of accent said, is still very common in some of the accents you'll find on the Australian continent, and occasionally in elements of New Zealander English. And I find that really neat that some of those are still around, even though some of those accents have shifted in the UK. And it was kind of neat, because I wasn't, like, I was paying attention to the video, and then I listened to it again with my eyes closed, and it really did remind me an awful lot of Professor Higgins trying to teach Eliza Doolittle to quote-unquote speak properly, and failing miserably, which I thought was kind of amusing. But as soon as I recognized that, from then and right until stream started today, even now, I have earworm in my head, different earworm songs of like little clips from My Fair Lady, either from the movie with Audrey Hepburn or from the soundtrack that I've been listening to from Julie Andrews. It took me a second. I don't know why. My brain wanted to supply Faye Dunaway, which makes no sense. That's totally not the right person. Okay, they want 6 of these blob things. So they're basically, it's silver. What I don't get is it's a silver colored piece. Okay. Maybe it was too gray for them, I don't know. Then they went and printed a silver circle on it. Any speculation as to why? Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't do that in a lot of the later sets, because that just makes absolutely zero sense to me. I'm wondering if it's for marking scoring, maybe, of some sort? But that doesn't make sense either. Because if everything's worth 10 points, the 5 they want on the thing only count you for 50 points, and that would only be for one team, right? Whatever. And then they want 1 sitting in the box, but because I have 2, I'm just going to put 2 in there. Because I can, you know? Extra pieces and all. Alright, good way to store that. On the back, we have more going on inside for a change. We've got a couple of posters. We've got all 4 of the house banners. So I guess I can do them in whatever order I like. They just want the 2 yellow and blue in this one. I get the square. Maybe. There we go. That's Hufflepuff. I'll show you up close once I get all 4 stuck on. And that is one of the other advantages. I know they've got the house colors on these towers. That actually would be one of the other advantages to having them all done in black and white. Would be that one could decorate them up with the various house banners, depending on who's playing. Another unique song. What the heck is it? Good World Gone Bad. Wild Side remix. Okay. By Splasher. Alright. I like the song, but it's got a very interesting singer. Warbling and so forth. Cool. I like that style, but I just don't hear it all that often. 1, 2, 3. I bet if I was looking for used parts, these would have been hard to find. On the other hand, they might have been stuck in a bin of parts they couldn't get the stickers off of. And honestly, maybe they wouldn't want to, because in Harry Potter theme, a bunch of mock traders may want them. It seems to be popular enough. Slytherin's crooked, but, you know, it's not actually badly crooked, so I'm not going to worry about it, but it does... They are, not my favorite house. And no, it's not because of the movies or books not liking them. Just of all the houses, I've never accidentally been sorted as a Slytherin. Okay, so here are your banners. If it will... I think I can get the autofocus a little better if I can stop moving. Better? There we go. So those are your 4 house banners. And they appear to want them stuck in the bottom of the tower. 2 together. I'm going to reverse them though, just because contrast. And I'll bet the next one. Yeah. Oh, I see. So on the outside, it's got... Yeah, it is scoring. Okay, so we've got Gryffindor on one side and Slytherin on the other. That's a scoring thing. Interesting. Alright, now as you can see in the bottom corner, we now switch to book 2. So I'm just going to roll this. And it does not have a roll. See it blank. Perfect. Okay, let's change this. Set instructions. Properties. We're done with all the stickers, so I can get rid of that sheet. Those? Where is Quidditch match 2? This one. Okay. Now this one, the scan is a little slightly different size. I'm not too thrilled, but hey, it'll do. No point in rolling the shape forward. Okay, so we've got the other Slytherin player, which is roping bag 3. And for those counting, this is the 3rd and final bag. Not a bad average, all said and done. Even with the derailing I've been doing, approximately a bag an hour. That's not horrible. All parts there. The flex you see is I actually am just quite literally throwing the plastic on the floor. Ah! This one. 2 big plates. These are going to be in the way. The trunk of sorts. We'll deal with that later. 2 sets of legs. Okay, we're good there. And... too much about a lot of this, but similar shape there, there. Those are all the same. Here's our rings. Lovely, they're just rings. It's quite nice. Okay. We've got Gryffindor player, Quidditch, or the Slytherin broom, Gryffindor broom, cup, Slytherin's top, legs. Put legs on both then. Keep leaning. Even though I've got the lower camera, I keep leaning. And obviously the lighting is, you know, all screwed up. Hey, yeah, do what you can, right? Because I mean, if I move the other lights on the sides, not only do they glare more on the table, but they underlight my face in a way that's horrible. Okay. Heads. One that looks slightly more feminine, only has one face, but it's definitely Gryffindor. The grumpy looking one is definitely a Slytherin, but we only have one face for that one. Got the darker hair on the Slytherin jet, because that is Marcus Flint for sure. Very straight, almost like his parents stuck a bowl on his head and then cut at the nape of his neck. I mean, that is a very classic way to do things, but it's not necessarily my preferred way of doing things. Alright, so we do that. There's the hair. Who is, oh, right. That's supposed to be, Jeepers Creepers. A bucktooth version, I believe, of Oliver Wood. Let me double check that. So says the box. The box says it's Oliver Wood. Okay. Let's see if I can get him. That's your Oliver Wood. I didn't really think he looked bucktooth in my world, but okay, sure. And then here's Marcus Flint. Which means, actually, I got the heads backwards. Black eyebrows and all. I was going to say, I think Marcus was the bucktooth one, and that's... Yes, he was. And I got the heads backwards. Oh no, not again. Because it also occurred to me that while I was here, I had forgotten to take the capes on, right? Okay, and I do this some other way. Aha, got an idea. How about this one and this one? Right, this way. And the head, yeah, a little bit larger. Great. Come on. This is like chopsticks. Stop it. 1, 2. Stop moving. Flat ones then. They're too big. The back maybe? Not the front. And I just pinch it enough to... Well, I got the body off, but it's not what I want. Come on, I want the head off. Oh! I got his hand out. That's not great. Glenn, stop it. I just don't want to ruin this one the way I ruined the other one. I don't think even using the other type of thing would make any difference. Unless... Can I squish them off? Sweet. Oh. Ah, wedge. There we go. That was the challenge. Let's get these put together properly rather than rushing through it. In real world sense, we put our capes on. Not that we can take our heads off, but I mean the point is we put our capes on. And we don't have to worry about things like that. Okay. Get him put back together properly. He needs a broom. Probably gonna go this way. So that should be a better Marcus Flint. Bucktooth pain in the butt. Get Oliver Wood his cape. I'm glad they ditched the capes later on. By the time they had the Triwizard Tournament and the Gryffindor youth were wearing house colors, so Cedric Diggory was wearing his house colors in yellow and black. I liked that far better. I actually thought that was a far more practical outfit to potentially be wearing for Quidditch matches. I don't mind the longer robes concept. If they wanted that, that's fine. But this, like, roby type print on the shirt with a horrible cape, I don't know. It just doesn't, it flows, it would flow badly. Okay, so there is Oliver Wood. And he's got a broom as well. There we go. Okay, what does it say we're supposed to do with this one? Much better. They don't look quite so darky. Okay, so because Marcus Flint was one of the beaters, I think. Oh no, he's a quaffle holder. Sorry. Yes, it was the other dude that was the beater. We've got... I mean, the quaffle thing was... So we've got the Lego gun-esque thing. Okay, so those are always an interesting pain to deal with. So in order to assemble that, I need to put on the back a clip. And then there's a trigger mechanism around here somewhere, this little tiny thing. This way? This way. So it rocks in. And then on the front of that we have, oddly enough, the quaffles are big enough to be a head. So in a lot of situations you would have just the pin fitting in, right? But because this is what it is, they have the quaffle having the big blob on the other end, right? Because the quaffles normally have a hole in it where they can grab the thing by the other end. So then, of course, they give you the standard Lego warning, don't shoot it in your eye. Let's see if I can do it this way. Okay, that's good. Last time I shot something, when they had the whole don't shoot people warning, it went across the room and ended up in my recycling bin, which is 7 or 8 feet from here. Yeah, there we go. See, it does that and ends up on the floor. But of course, we have more than one, so it's not a big deal. I can pick things up with my toes sometimes, so that works out well. Okay, the one's loaded, and then they have one spare. Got it going wide end. Yeah, there we go. They look like, honestly, they look like propane tanks to me when I do it that way. Anyway. And then this clip piece holds it on to Marcus's broom. Why? I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's how they play. Weird, but it works. Okay. So then we've got the trophy stand. Probably before we do the Oliver Wood. I guess it didn't want us to do it that way. Oswin, that is not what she's talking about. It's okay. You can chill. There we go. Got the trophy stand. And then they want the broom. The chest for the rest of the parts. Here I am getting email notices on my screen. No good. Okay. Chest. Closed. And that would be where you'd store the remainder of the bludgers. Which I don't know what they're going to use for those. Probably I'm going to bet little black studs. That's my guess. Because there is a little cannon thing there, so we'll probably have that happening. Okay, now we're on to the build. And it's interesting, I'm just noting, I go back here. Yeah, okay, so Oliver Wood didn't have anything extra and fancy. I thought he would. It's too bad. I suppose, since he's like normally the goalie, I guess. You can give him the other one. There. Gives him something to hold on to. Alright. Let's build the stadium, or the pitch. So we've got... step 1. So hard. I'm glad that LEGO doesn't do that in many of their sets. Show you the one piece. It's like, okay, you could show us... This shows the extra pieces, and like, okay, this could have been step number 1. Right? It's not rocket science, but they didn't. Haha, they do, says Momo Bear. Very true. I love those sets of instructions, though, are kind of all over the place when they fire things around the room. It's just amusing to note that some pieces get really good momentum from the little gun things, and it's just based on maybe all sciencey on you, but potential energy in the plastic deformation. Yeah, that makes no sense. Long story short to be that it's the way the clip squishes onto the gun thing, and then when you press it down further to the point where it just pushes right through and it forces the piece out, then that's where you get all your energy from. I do like that they've got the rings raised. I also like that they're the same size. The rings are actually notably smaller than the ones in the Quidditch trunk, so I will show that off later, just as a comparison piece, like we did with the what do you call it? The Ollivander's shop last week, a couple weeks ago. I guess it was last week. That they've changed things up. I was looking for alternate suggestions to see if anybody else had repurposed any of the earlier Diagon Alley set as an alternate shop. Have they used it for anything else? And I have not even seen people that have said they've taken, like in rebrickable designs, I've not seen designs where they've taken that apart in any way, shape, or form, or reused it for anything. So I may end up having to get creative if I want to reuse that shop. There are a few places, or a few designers that have done additions to that series, and some of them are shops that we've done, like Madame Malkin's, for example. So that combination will work. Pardon me, but they've not redone or reused that Ollivander's shop. And yet I've also seen designs where people have reused the parts of the Ollivander's shop and the Madame Malkin's shop and whatever in other ways to do what's the word? Additions to, they call it D2C, so direct to consumer Diagon Alley set. So basically, for when people are looking on the internet and you see Diagon Alley sets. Hey Minx, Nevada, how are you doing today? Glad to see you. Always glad to see you, actually. But when people are seeing changes or updates to those sets, they're usually referring to resizing them for the direct-to-consumer size, which is not quite the same scale. It's the one that's slightly smaller than the... I went the wrong way again. It's slightly smaller than the Weasley's shop that we have built. So, I don't know. Well, it goes all the way up. And this can go through here. I guess they're giving it some level of play mechanism. So we're going to have a player, probably via this, able to be in front of the goalpost, I suppose? It'll be neat to see how it turns out in the end. These parts going, I don't know if I see a black bit that large. So on part 2 has me putting this piece in the other way. What am I looking for? 1 by, like a, I think I've seen these things elsewhere. Did I drop it on the floor? I don't think so. Oddly enough, actually, that is a part I know I've picked up elsewhere. Well then. Ah, there it is. Brown, it's not black. That's why I didn't see it. I thought I was looking for a black one. Oops. Down below. Oh, no, I rotated too much. That will go on the back side here. Hopefully everybody's still having a good day. A dash of sarcasm, yes. Minx Nevada had definitely a good dash of sarcasm and plenty of exasperation when I last saw her building. Did a good job, though. That GPT with a dash of sarcasm itself loves to come up with some pretty strange things when we ask for a shout out. They're fun though. I've yet to find one overtly offensive, so that's when the party ends, but it hasn't done it yet. It is. Yeah, it tries to pick up from your profile, and it also can, I'm not sure if it's accessing a service for it or not, but I've seen some where people's profiles are virtually blank and it still comes up with something kind of ridiculous. So I wonder if it's also running it through a service that, like YouTube, for example, has, you can get AI summaries of what's in the video. And so I wonder if it's doing that and then accessing the content from the summary as well. But it doesn't seem to respond well when we ask it, you know, what was the last such and such, or what was the last person's video about? Person's last video about? And it says, I can't tell you that, so I don't don't fully know what it's doing. On the other hand, it's nice because, to be a little different because sometimes the shoutouts can seem a little dry. True. We don't know how quickly the Twitch profiles are getting indexed by places like Google and such as well. Sweet. You're not seeing a whole lot on camera just because this thing is really wide. Beautifully wide. There we go. Green. I'm glad you're upfront about that. I'd love to be able to legitimately say I'm being sarcastic. I'm just not. I mean, I could put geeking out. That would be kind of accurate. Then it would show up in everybody's shoutouts. One block in. I'm glad you chose to update your profile, though. That's another thing that happens. Is some streamers, after a while, their profile gets kind of stale. I left mine pretty stale. So the this one and what's on the page is about the same. I just made it conveniently simple. What did I add? This one, we just did that. Here, 14. Yeah. It's on the list of things I should update, but that list is growing and I never remember. Sounds dumb, but my accomplishment for the day so far has been not being horribly late on streaming, given how little I bothered to prepare in advance. Crossed with, I made the bed before I got to stream. The sad part is that is an accomplishment for the day, simply because I don't always get that done. That way, I think. Oh, ×2. Okay, we can do that. This way, that way. It's going to clip onto the towers on the sides. Yeah. If I get there and I see that, it's like, oh, yeah, I should do that. Well, it's funny, actually, Mama Bear, because very frequently, you guys saw my Apple Watch earlier, and very frequently, make the bed is actually one of the things that ends up on my to-do list in the center of the screen, nice big letters, at the very top of, like, absolutely must-do things. And I still sometimes forget. It's a bit of an out of sight, out of mind thing. It's like, oh yeah, I should go do that. And then something comes up. Or I do I'll just put this away first, right? We talked about that one. I'll just put this thing away, or I'll empty my inventory, or I will whatever, to shut down, and then, yeah, get into something else, and then it completely and utterly slips my mind, because it's not in the same room as me. Although sometimes stuff in the room gets ignored, but it's neither here or there. And then I forget. And then sometimes I'll later on be like, oh, lunchtime happens, and sometimes I do lunch, sometimes I don't. Other times I'm sitting down here and I get a pop up on my screen from one of our cameras going, oh, the driveway. Like it's something is coming on the driveway camera, and I look at the time and it's like, oh, this is the perfect time for Fantastic Sherlock Fox to get home from work. Or, oh, he was out doing whatever and he's coming back. It's like, yeah, I really should stand up, take a stretch, and, do the things. And so I go rocketing upstairs and I make the bed. It happens. The funny part is that I don't have to chase my kids yet about making their beds. For the main part, my daughter does get hers made, even though she's squirrely like I am. Yeah, I'm a very much out of sight, out of mind person. Exactly, Mama Bear. And I don't think it is related to the fact that we are adults in terms of age. I think it's just, it happens. But anyway, I don't have to get after my kids in terms of making the bed, as in do or don't. But I do have to get after them from time to time in terms of how messy it is when they, quote unquote, make the bed. Because sometimes it's, for my daughter, it's questionable. As in, did you even bother to pull up the flat sheet underneath the quilt? These dumb things, when they put these Technic pins in, I like them, but by the time they go to show them on the picture below, they're often looking gray instead of black. And so if I'm not paying attention, which we know how frequently that happens, then I sometimes miss the fact that they're black, and I spend time looking for gray ones when I don't actually have gray ones. Okay, which side has the upside down? It's going on right next to the pin. Right. I guess that's an interesting way of making the mechanism hide and make the pitch look green, more green. Oh. Sorry. Mildly funny. And this box is out doing a physio appointment, so I don't expect him back yet. But I had just mentioned about driveway cameras, and I just got a notice from the driveway camera. Most likely it's actually just telling me about somebody going by, walking their dog or something, because no matter how many times I adjust it to have a like a zone that's supposed to tell me about, and outside that zone we don't care, it still tells me about everything. We're looking at replacing our outdoor cameras anyways, because 2 times like this? Okay. So there's no front or back. Perfect. We're looking at replacing our outdoor cameras partly because we use Google Nest cams at the moment, and they do a good job. We're just not interested in having all their, like, they can't record locally. Not even the newer versions of them that we've got. They can't really record locally. Therefore, we're paying for them to send to a service, which of course takes internet bandwidth and all that jazz. So there's that fee as well. But the fact that they don't, and we have that fee all the time, is kind of annoying. And they don't play nicely with our smart home system. We have most of our stuff going through, well, it was nearly everything Google for a long time. But of course we have Apple phones, right? So then we're looking at Apple Home as well, because it's convenient and everything, and it doesn't play nicely with that either. They certainly don't, because of course they're a Google product. Why would they? So then version 3, or method 3 of dealing with this, is we have a service, that will connect Google stuff into an app we have called Home Assistant, which is great. You can do a lot of stuff with that. It's basically, it's kind of a server with a brain, but it really also just shows you dashboards and things. So you can do a lot of smarty pants things with it. Actually, I don't like the marks showing, so why don't I put it on top of where the ring is molded in a circle. There we go. Let me some more round. So anyway, long story made short, is that these Google Nests don't play nice with that either. So we're looking to eventually replace them. We're finding some possible candidates, but it's just one of those things that's nice to have. I mean, the whole point of getting them originally was a security cam, but it has side effects. I mean, one way of looking at it is, would I get the bed made half as much as I do if we didn't have, driveway or yard cameras? Would I? I don't know. Oh, they're all going to be the same height, are they? Please tell me they're not going to be all the same height. I will adjust that later on, because they're not supposed to be. Like, There's one that goes up a little bit, but these little plates in the back are so skinny that if that's the extra height for the third one, that's just kind of silly. I like more height than that. It's not, I mean, it's not bad, because it's over there, a little lower. What are they doing for the third one? Why couldn't you just, oh, I see. They want a different height, okay. So this one goes here. I have to use one of the shorter poles. Okay, fine. It's the same concept, but they have a shorter pole. It feels very 70s, this music. I'm not surprised then. It's a song called Downtime by an artist called Yellow Bass. Much as I try not to spoil my streaming Spotify account, I do on occasion accidentally forget which app I've got logged in where, and then click like on a song that I do actually like, but then it ends up being in the wrong place. Wrong account, which is, you know, not helpful for my personal music taste, but also it doesn't help in terms of music or keeping the streaming one clean. Or do I have to be super careful which accounts I've got? Okay, so I guess we do have the 3 different heights. In films, they also have them moved forward a little bit on some of the other hoops, so I might alter that as well. I mean, I could put them one block forward here. That's a little bit better. Okay. Huh. So the gun thing, this other little launcher, goes on the bottom. I honestly thought a player would be holding that. Okay. Good news. And we're going to load it with one of the, no surprise, 6 studs we have. So that makes sense because basically they've got, in the real game, they'd have 1 quaffle and 2 bludgers. This one they've got 2 quaffles and basically 6 bludgers, so we've got plenty of opportunity, I guess. I will not test fire that one, just because that does go firing across the room. It's much lighter than the other item. It bounced, the last time I did it, it bounced off my hand and went really far, so I'm not going to worry about that. But yes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have 5, and then of course, because everything's losable, they've got a spare 6, which is kind of corny, but sure. Okay, so now we can start assembling the whole works. I don't know if we have enough space, so let me try and zoom this camera out just a bit. Very messy desk. Okay. As much desk real estate as we can. This way. Almost. Not quite. It'll do. Yes. There we go. About as much real estate as I can get. So now we want to attach the towers. We want Ravenclaw on this side. We want Hufflepuff on the other side. I can hear those score pins or score things rolling around inside. Okay, so we got those 2. Oops, too far. Come on. This one. We turn it around. Pins. You make the bed every day, not immaculately though. Mother-in-law takes it apart completely and remakes her bed every day. I would not be surprised if my mother-in-law does the same. I really would not be surprised. But I think she doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. Thing is, my major piece is if you pull the corners out while you're tossing and turning, tuck them back in. That's my big one. And Fox does. We do corners differently. I grew up with something called hospital corners, but I don't know what it is. He doesn't do them, but he makes it neat and tidy, so I'm good with that. He also has grown up with a need for having a tidy made bed, but a strong one. I suspect that's partly because I swear his mom has OCD. Crossed with that, his father was in the armed forces, so that would explain a good bit as well. Okay, so we've got this one. Okay, so they didn't actually, as far as I could tell, what did I miss? Aha, I didn't pay attention. Ugh. Okay, so I really didn't pay attention back at this step, because I missed it entirely. Smart. I rolled the mouse too fast. My fault. Okay, so they've got a piece here that will stick onto the back. That's a piece. And then this bottom rounded end will sink into the spot we had in the center. And then by the time we roll forward to the end display, that's where your keeper would stand. And in this case, it is Oliver Wood. So I'll take the spare quaffle out of his hand. And they've got him standing up on that pin. Okay. There's Oliver Wood standing up on his pin. Sure, so he can go back and forth. Whee! You can actually play the set, although the rings are totally awkward sizing. I probably would make them bigger compared to the size of the minifigs, so that will happen. Let's see, we've got the box that will hold all the extras. Well, not all, but most. So we would normally have a quaffle in the center. I don't even know if this is going to fit. I'm going to double up these bludgers for storage purposes. So 1, 2, and then you'd have a snitch in the lid, which we don't have space for. That's okay. Harry's holding it, so we're good. There, and that would be kind of your setup for a Quidditch game, and this is not going to fit. I tip over sideways. Yes, there we go. Oh, still doesn't fit. So, yeah. So much for that idea. You want to go... Really? Does not want to fit that way either. Come on. 1, 2. Close enough. Alright, so we've got it set. And then we've got... Let's see if we can do it kind of like a picture just for fun. This one, we've got Harry and his broom over here. Standing like this, more or less. Ah, yeah, he's falling over on broom. Got trophy. And we've got Snape standing on this side. And we've got Hermione up in the lone Gryffindor Tower. By herself. We'll just let her stand up there. I don't know why they didn't put Snape in the other side. I will do so. This one. Up here. We're going to throw Snape up. Oh, that's why. Because he doesn't fit. Haha. Well, that's real smart, Lego. He doesn't fit. I got his head and his hair squished on as far as they go. And he doesn't fit. You can't set him on fire if he doesn't fit, you goose. Okay, wait. He was standing in the stands at that point, so we'll just have to deal with the fact that he has to be sitting to make it work. Okay, and then we can get Hermione going and turning on. There, he's sitting, doesn't fit, but he's sitting, and then we can have the fire trying to set him on fire. Yay! Alright, so there's that. And then we've got 2 Slytherin players, Marcus in the front. And doesn't want to stand on its own because this thing is so heavy. And then what's his face, who isn't really important anyways, in the back. Falling over anyway. Come on. Yeah. We've got enough weight going on. There we go. All right. So that's basically the set. We be done. Woohoo! Well, officially done. That doesn't necessarily mean we are done for the day. We have 25 minutes. So, I only had votes on the Quidditch set. Let's see if... We could call it early. That's a possibility. You know me, I don't like doing that. I could. this one. Nope. If I can get the other one fast enough, then maybe we'll switch. We'll see. Picture. Come on. Give me the picture. Lego. Ah. Okay. Ah. Save images. Went to the right place. Lo and behold, that actually worked. Wow. And all these. All for the instructions. No, not that one. This one. Go do. Let's see if we can get a solid start on this next one. I'm just downloading the file. So we had no votes at the moment for any of the other sets, but when I asked my daughter about it, which one she liked, then she said that she would vote for the potions class. So I'm going to get a quick start on that one. On instructions, there we go. Because it doesn't take a whole lot for that one, like to start it. Oh. I want this. Okay, so first things first, on our screen, let's change the picture. Pretties Bros. We just had that one. Can't spell. Where is it? There we go. Open. It's a bit large. I'm not going to worry too much about sizing today because we don't have a whole ton of time. But can I get this to fit properly? Oh, not that way. Now let's make it smaller. Close enough, right? You can see what it's supposed to be more or less. Set label. Name. Properties. This is actually called. Where is it here? Hogwarts Castle. Ooh. Wow, did I ever spell that wrong? I think it has a colon on the top of the first part. Okay. Great. We always do. That's, you know, me centering things, not a hope. Come on, you. Bet. Close enough. Close enough. Right? Okay. We'll pretend that that was intentional. Alright, last but not least, we have the instructions, and then we'll just jump on in. That's not quite fitting correctly either. This one is actually zoomed better. We need the full size. Roll. Okay. I'll just leave my mess on the floor. Two, three. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah. Good. Okay, let's open this next box and just roll. Extras. Extra, extra. Oh. So it can combine with set 6435, which is the current version of the Hogwarts Great Hall set, which is not the one I have. I actually don't have a whole lot of interest in the new one at the moment, just because although it's modular, this new stuff is modular. To me, it felt like a repeat of the one I've already got from 2018, but somebody might have to convince me otherwise. Okay, here's our booklet. Wherever the other booklet went. I'll find it later. Okay, bag 1. Oh, more stickers. Yay! 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't get through all of these. That's okay. Okay. Zoom in all the way, please. And image adjustments. Autofocus. There we go. Or what's his face? Of course. No problem. One of the things that's very, very large on my to-do list right now is laundry. So I hear ya. Laundry, I totally hear ya. Clicking on that. Step 1. Oh, I guess I should rename things, huh? Oliver's busy, so I'm going to just rename the stream really quickly. LEGO Potions. Oops. I still can't spell. What the hey? Okay. There we go. Doesn't do another fresh go live, I hope. That's wrong, but that's okay. We'll go with it. So first off, it looks like we have yet another Hermione. Yep, another Hermione Granger and a Seamus Finnegan. Okay. So, pop that. Let's get Hermione Granger going. She's in a good mood in this one because she's always in a good mood, right? And she thinks Seamus is funny. Although the poor dude keeps blowing himself up. So they don't seem to have specific Hogwarts outfits. Yes, it's a messy Seamus. Why not? I'm pretty sure I've got a Seamus where he's not so messy, so let's go messy in this one. Because he's blown himself up. Why not? Okay, legs. He gets the socks because it's a skirt. They did that back in that point in the story. Okay, and we're not going to bother with the wands in this one because they will lose them. So, here we go. We've got these two. Hermione and Seamus. And then I will add Hermione's skirt that I forgot. Our little skirt piece, but I don't have to use my teeth. Yay! How about when I find it? How's that? Leave it apart for now. All right. Oh, next. There we go. So this one, light gray. Light gray. Make new update. Yep, there we go. And we can kick out autofocus in the keister. And we now have, what's the other one? There we go. Geek out is changed. 2 characters from Tron, if you can name them. Oh, lordy. I have no clue. So if that one sits for a couple minutes, we will just roll it, because that's what we do, right? Oh, that one has the lip on it. It's this one. And the lip goes up the back. Okay. And then this one on the top. Alright, now we have other things to do. Great. So this one. There. I've never been one that really cared a whole lot, most of the time, in which direction the actual Lego text goes. Some people, some collectors are really picky about that. Like, so if it says Lego correctly right side up going this direction, then this plate I put on would have to say it in the same direction. I'm not quite like that. Sounds funny considering that I get a little annoyed with the visibility of the injection molding point, but it's not the same thing at all. Oh, am I not in streaming mode? Oh, I'm in streaming mode. I don't know. Whatever. My computer should be quiet. Push. There we go. Alright, so we got that one done. Cool. We will not get all of this one done, but hey, if we can get a good piece of it, then we're off to the races. One of these. That's level. One. Funny, yesterday I was talking about my family when we were doing it. It felt like we were doing speed builds. And it wasn't that we were trying to rush through the family build of Lego. It was that because of the way they split the box up, when it was someone else's turn to do the box, we started out with my son working on the box base. And then after that, he handed off to my husband, who did his part, while I refreshed my drink and built the little biome that was in my bag and so forth. And then it was my turn to do the box, work on the box. But it felt like the next person was already waiting for me, so I was rushing things. It's part of why I, skipped some steps and stuff by accident. But anyways, because of that, I was actually like nervous in a way that I haven't been in months building Lego, and I was actually physically shaking. Partly the excitement, but quite literally like physically shaking. And it was weird because it made it difficult to actually get things done. On top. And I'm quite glad that even when I'm trying to rush this one a little bit to see how far we can get before the end of the stream, it doesn't feel quite the same. I'm not shaking yet. I probably will be pretty soon, and you guys will see it. And I don't think it's a muscular control thing. I think it's just me feeling wired and pressured, which is my own doing, so, you know, take that for what it is. Wrong one. This one. Now this set was received from Fantastic Chalk Fox. It's become a bit of a tradition for me to get a Lego set after I've had a successful stream weekend, or a stream weekend. So after the last Dadcraft community stream weekend, I got this one, and I was quite pleased. I was surprised, actually, because I don't recall expressing interest in it. Because of the way it modularly fits under the Great Hall and such, then it still does work well for my collection. But I wasn't putting a high priority on the various classrooms because I've got the various books that had come out earlier. Like, I've got all of them. So Potions Classroom, I believe, was part of like the Slytherin Common Room book. As the I got the other side. As the Hufflepuff Classroom, the Hufflepuff Common Room one was combined with a reference to the greenhouse. So theirs was a little bit less involved, I guess. Which is nice though, because now I can emphasize the more common room element of that part of the display rather than trying to split it between common room and potions classroom. Whoa, that's horrible. Okay. Not centered, and then there's like, what are you doing? Grade not centered. Top bottom was fine, because I normally do them the other direction. I usually mess up the top to bottom. Left, right, that was more than I'm willing to put up with. I am really right now of late in quite a electro swing mood. So I've been playing a lot of electro swing outside of stream. So when this one caught my attention just now as being electro swing, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, let's go find it and hit the like button. But it's not going to help much because it's a stream. The list that isn't all that. I have to make sure the list retains its epidemic sound onlyness. If it becomes something else, I have to stop using it. So we'll just see how it goes. Okay. Killer. Flip. Bag seems like it's going fast. I think it's just because there's a lot of minute pieces. I'm not quite sure what they're going to be using all of the forks and knives for. That'll be different. After I made that comment about electro swing, we end up with Beach Grave by DJ Denz the Rooster. A very different feel. Okay, this is one of those lists where there's something for everybody. This one has a hole in it. Oh, a nice involved section. Okay, so we've got circle. With a circle, they made circle pieces rather than using quarters. That's different. I don't often get these. Who's in the middle there? That goes with this piece here. Spin, squish, and 2 more. All right, so a massive cauldron, basically. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be. But I expected a bunch of these sort of, not quarters, but, well, yes, quarters. But I expected like all of the rings to be like that and built, brick built, so to speak, but they're not. Nice to see. The user, yes, very true. We've had Geek Out for more than 5 minutes, so I'm going to leave that. We're back to Geek Out again, of course. The Aughts Music named 2 performers who've had their music used in a commercial. Aha. That should be doable. I can't think of one off the top of my head at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that there's been plenty that should be notable. Like, for example, I can think of an artist. I know Michael Jackson had his music used in commercials. That's part of the partnership he had with Pepsi for many, many years, including Injuries. Oh, and here, this is a nice one. We've got a unique-ish piece that it's a pre-filled, rather large potion bottle, which is nice to see because usually we just see cone-shaped items with one of the little jewel type stoppers on it, or a single stud. So this is nice. Oof, I don't remember who sang what when. Yeah, well, exactly. Oh, actually, Good Vibrations, yes, was definitely used in an orange soda commercial. I did see that one up here. And what's it called? Love and Spoonful had one of their songs used. I don't remember what it's called. I know Hot Town, like Summer in the City, has been used in Love and Spoonful for just insurance commercials where they're just talking about, like, showing people, not insurance, sorry, travel commercials. And people wanting to go elsewhere. And they're showing about nightlife in wherever the travel place is. I've also seen Donovan Leitch, or better known as Donovan, was behind the song Mellow Yellow, which of course was used in the soda ad. And it was also used in an Alberta ad we had for the dairy producers of Alberta in Canada, and they used it for they're talking about butter. They're showing lovely golden corn on the cob, and they're singing about butter, melting it. There's another one. There was a Golden Graham cereal commercial with a Donovan song in it years ago as well. I don't remember what that one was. There'll be 2 performers. There we go. Got them. Roll. I know we have 5 minutes left, more or less. 4 minutes technically, but you know how that goes. Okay, this one needs all its bits and pieces on it. So we've got that for the table surface. Now all the random odds and ends. Got a cauldron on the end. Fantastic. We've got a printed card for the instructions book for the kids, I guess. And it's upside down to what I'm looking at currently, but I will show that one up close in a moment. And we've got a writing spot, ink and pen and ink and quill. Because of course you always have to take notes, right? And then a spoon and fork for heaven knows why. Lego does Lego, that's fine. So I think they made these spoons and like these cutlery spoons and forks. There's kind of like a Lego does Polly Pocket, and then just they had to use it for everything under the sun after that, just because they bothered to create them and had to justify them. There's our potions table, which goes across the bottom section down here. And there's 2 of them. Ah! I see. I only made 1. Silly me. Okay. Great. So, we've got this one. We've got... There's the skirt. 2 pieces there. This leg. And then we've got that leg. And the flat. 2 pieces. I actually remember this. Why? I don't know. Will I remember it beyond today? No. Alright. I feel like I'm racing the clock, which is kind of stupid because we're flexible, right? That's one of the things I love about Twitch. Unlike network TV, for example, Twitch is very, very flexible. Now there's flexibility in politeness, and then there's flexibility in at the extent of being rude. Now, one of the things I definitely want to improve, of course, is obviously if I'm going to use the up-the-nose cam rather than overhead cam on the Lego stuff, then I need to definitely deal with the lighting, because that's not working. But, you know, we're here. We're one thing at a time. So this should be the second printed set of instructions. And we have another cauldron. And then we have the inkwell, the quill. We have spare quills. Yay! And a spare inkwell. All right. I'm assuming these are the student work desks. And that would most likely, as soon as I can get them snapped on, be the end of that bag, I'm going to bet. Let's see. Yep, perfect. So we're not going to move on to the next bag tonight. I think that's a lot easier for us to keep organized if we just go with what we've got. I can still probably put the minifigs on, though, for storage purposes and such. We'll fix Hermione, because now she's got her skirt. There we go, her little first-year skirt. And I'm just going to set her in here. And then we'll let Seamus have blown himself up out here. I'll just let him sit sideways. Is this sort of, I am shocked I just blew myself up. Alright, and then we have, roll this back, because, yeah, that is square, okay. We have extra bits and the extra wands. We all know how that goes. All right, so next one up, we will start next week with Pansy Perkinson, and see where we get from there. So, last piece I wanted to show you just before we go, and I know I kept it right to the top of the hour, so we'll slide this one off the side, was I promised a bit of a comparison. So I'm just going to hide the instructions. I'm going to hide This, and that. All right, so this was our major focus today. All right, and we've got towers and so on and so forth, right? I know we're zoomed in. I have to zoom that back out. So do so. All right, so that was our major focus today. And in... Stop it. In comparison, just for curiosity's sake, I'm going to grab the Quidditch trunk. So one of the things I'm going to be nicking is the ring size. So the Quidditch trunk is this one. We're not going to put all of it together because it totally doesn't need to be. That off. And this section, come on. So yeah, we've got the 3 rings, which, do they stay or do they not? Can't recall. But I guess they, yeah. I'm out for now. Then the Quidditch thing opens up, right? And by the time you've got everything going, we've got a ring. Where did that one go? I can't recall. In here. Okay. And then we've got 2 side rings, which in here and in there. You start to see some scaling differences. It's really notable when you take a look at the ring size. This is our platform for the player. I'm trying to figure out how I did that. Anyhow, not super important, I guess. We'll just, yeah. So there's our player. Player for scale. Right? Right. One goes there. We'll put her on here. And I believe that can go up or down. I can't recall quite how that worked. Anyway, but for scale purposes, we've got a player. And the tube. We've got a tube at the bottom. I have to remember how to play this one, like actually pull it out. But long story short, we've got ring size differences. Big ring size differences. So we've got, there's the ring from the one we built today. Here's the ring from the Quidditch trunk. You kind of see the point. So they're both completely out to lunch scale-wise. I actually wish they had done this design in the Quidditch trunk rather than coming up with this part. But they did what they did. Do we have any other? This is, there we go. That's not how it's supposed to go, but you get the rough idea. Pull this out again, just so it's heavy. Put this ring back and we are done. So we're going to raid out and figure out who we're going to see today. I'm going to bet it's Jade, but we'll see what her timings are and how long she's been up. If she's been up for far too long, then that won't work. Schedule on some Mondays. Nothing. Okay. Live. Twitch, don't make me log in again. Seriously? Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's our best bet, I think, is going to head on into... Oh! Yeah. Gonna do that. We're predictable, but I think we're gonna go with that. And, no. Change my mind. Complete change of plans. We usually go into Jade because I normally do Minecraft. But because I did Lego today, we're actually going to do something a little different. We're going to go raid another one from Canada. His name is Astro Canuck. Now, he often does space-themed things. Today, he's doing Lego, and he's doing Red London telephone box, plus a giveaway, apparently. But most important is that he's pushing for his Partner Plus, and from one Lego into another, that's where we're headed. We haven't rated him in months and months and months, just because he's usually one of the local brick shops crew, and his timings when he does Astro stuff, like space things, just doesn't tend to work out to match with my daytime streams, you know? So that's what we're going to do. Let's get ourselves ready to roll on over there. Nothing too exciting about... come on. There we go. Nothing too exciting about what we need to tell him, you know? Just a thing. And for those who like emotes, you shall see them up on the screen, and we'll say our good thank yous. Let's get this rolling.
Mischief managed.
Mischief managed indeed. We had an absolutely fantastic raid today from ITT Tom, and I always appreciate that. Thank you ever so much. It's never required. Thank you again to Yellow for the resubscription. Always a pleasure. We had Mama Bear and Fantastic Shock Fox being our fantastic moderators today, keeping everything rolling and keeping things interesting, keeping me from going insane, which is a bonus for everybody concerned. Great conversation from Yellow, Mike Burton, Tom for a bit, Wolfen for a bit, Motown Mickey for a bit, Minx Nevada, and we're headed on over to Astro Connect. So if you were just hanging out and lurking, I appreciate that. And we'll be back tomorrow with some Minecraft and some mines. So I'll see you then. Have yourself a fantastic day, and bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.